the month of May for the sign of Virgo. Let's go ahead and get this popping in. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to Pages of Ascension. My name is Tia. I will be your hostess for today. So bear with me as I get these cards out. I'm going to make sure they're all nice and shuffled up here for you. I hope everybody is doing okay and staying healthy out there. Please keep in mind that readings may or may not resonate. If they do, that's of course fantastic. And if you feel so inclined to share, I would love to read your comments. But if not, that's okay too. You can also check your moon or your rising signs for this, okay? Please keep in mind that this is a two-part reading. So this first part you see here is just going to tackle the Lenormand and the Kipper. And then over in the extended, I will look into the tarot to draw out a few more themes for you on what is going on. Those extended readings can be purchased through my website individually, or if you like to look at more than one zodiac sign, as in you're playing in different areas in your chart, it might be more cost effective to head over to my Patreon in the $6 tier, and you can get all of the extended readings for a small fee of $6 a month. All right, so all right, we're gonna pour ourselves some tea and then pop in. Okay, Virgo, so it looks like you've got some type of a block here going on. I almost feel like you're forced between the decision to start something new or to go back and try something again. And I say that because we've got the mountain here, which signifies a block, and the boat is heading literally right towards a block. With this crossroads card here appearing, it's like you literally have the choice to go after something new or to try to rehash something that has already been. You do recognize that pursuing what has once been is going to be presented with a lot of challenges, okay? Let's see here. Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. So I'm going to go ahead and bust out the Kipper, see what else we've got here. But that's the very basis of your reading. You've got the choice between something new and something old. If you go towards something old, it's going to be presented with a lot of blocks, a lot of just things getting in your way. Specifically, it would be one of those scenarios where you directly feel like you're being blocked, whether intentionally or otherwise. So where I'm really tired of seeing this bad health card. Okay, so there is a windfall. This is probably that stimulus check for some of you. Okay. Okay, so this is very interesting, Virgos. I do feel like the newness that's happening, it's like there's, let me back up. We're going to pause on this here for just a second on this section, because the way this is coming out is, actually, I've seen this combination come out multiple times over and over and over and over and over the last several months. Like, literally, I think the first time I had this particular combination come out for me was clear back in October, and I didn't know what it meant at the time. I thought maybe bad health, like, spoke to some sort of like inheritance, but this is like the stimulus check if I've ever seen it. Okay, so great fortune as a result of bad health. So that's what I feel like is new in your world, but there's still this crossroads, and I feel like this might actually have to do with whatever line of work that you're in. Okay, so it's possible that the mature man in this, if this is not your supervisor, it could be a partner. We'll find out a little bit more when we get into the tarot cards. But I feel like the crossroads for you is to kind of, should you ride this wave, or should you go back to what you were doing, even though what you were doing left you in a state of poverty and despair. So like with these two cards being next to each other, this feels a lot like someone who's underpaid for their work, or even just someone who is very dependent on their clientele in order to make ends meet. Okay, now I feel like this feels like a boss. Like, this really does. This feels like a boss or some type of supervisor for you. And I feel like the message that you're going to be getting from this person is that your business isn't going to be able to reopen, or their business isn't going to be able to reopen, so you have permanently actually lost your job. Okay. And so yeah, this is a crossroads for you. Do you continue to invest in the same line of work, or do you go for something different? You know, if you invest in the same line of work and you continue to push this, that you're not going to come off any better off. Okay. However, I do feel like even though there's this blockage for you from moving up in the company, because it's looking like there is no company here, I do feel like you've got people in your industry that see your value and see your worth. So yeah, it might be a little bit of a block to, or I should say, it might be a struggle to reinvest in this particular occupation again. But I do feel like you have support if you do. So some of you might be pregnant, and that's what's coming into your decision as to whether or not to continue on this line of work or to focus on the new life that you're about to birth. Yeah, this just feels like this stimulus money, or any money resulting from the current Rona outbreak. That's what this feels like. Okay, so I'm not going to hover too much on that, but I do feel like this choice whether to move towards something you've already done before that you know isn't proven to be successful versus focusing on something new. So let's go ahead and look into the tarot cards on this one. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Let's go ahead and look at our oracle cards. So what your soul's trying to get through to you is to break free, regain your youth, and fly. You know, I distinctly feel like this is saying go for something new. And that's like a common It's a common saying that when you're presented in life with the option to go for something old or for something new, always choose something new, because you know how the old has turned out. Okay? So if you go for something new, you're less likely to experience the same issues that you did before. Okay? So I feel like that's a lot what this is talking about. Why go over the mountain pass when you can just go the other direction and go through a valley instead? So the rune card for the month of May, Virgos, is Yira, and I love Yira. This is the card of like fate, basically spinning and having control of the direction. So I'm gonna go ahead and read this out of the book. It says, year harvest, harbinger of reward. With hard work and effort, a reward is received. Symbolizes natural cycles. Year's shape appears like the winding paths made in wheat or cornfields. These paths can create a labyrinth pattern used to confuse or amuse people wandering amongst them. Yura is the harvest, reaping of what you have worked hard to do. It's the celebration done at the end of a cycle and a promise that life will be renewed. So whatever you've been working on, and again, I feel like that's where this crossroads is coming through, because I do feel like it's something that you've been applying a lot of effort into. But I don't know if it's just like that your heart isn't in it anymore, or if, so this could be like your heart just not being in the energy anymore to continue this line of work, because your focus is over here. Your focus is on what's new. So I feel like for some of you, there's something in the background that you've been applying a lot of your attention and energy to, and you've been presented with this opportunity to go for something new or go for something old, or moved back towards something old, an old setup. And you're saying you're going to reap what you sow. So there's two sides to this that I'm seeing ultimately, okay? Excuse me. I'm sorry, guys. I can't even like go throughout and say that, because I really do feel like if you continue along this path going back towards what is old, what has already been established, even though you have this support within your community, I don't feel like this is going to turn out good for you. You're going to be left worse off than you were. Okay? So let's go ahead and dig into the tarot cards.